This weekend, the St. Pete Times-Forum hosts first and second round action of the NCAA Men's College Basketball Tournament. Good seats remain, so call the number on your screen or log on to sptimesforum.com/NCAA 2008. Welcome back to the Lightning Report. I'm Rick Peckham. Throughout the season, Sun Sports will produce 70 game telecasts and this show every week of the season. But for those rare games that aren't televised on Sun Sports, and when coming to and from the St. Pete Times-Forum, Bolts fans enjoy listening to our radio partners, Dave Mishkin and Phil Esposito. There's a third voice Lightning fans have the pleasure of listening to each and every game on the radio. In his second season as the pregame, intermission, and postgame host for the Lightning Radio Network, Matt Sammon brings a passion and knowledge for the sport of hockey that began back before the team was even born.
Matt Sammon and Dave Anderchuk on Lightning Hockey Night on 620 WDAE, the sports animal. And
myself as a hockey fan, I've been following the sport for, I'd say, probably 16, 17 years. You know, without too many games on cable TV here in the Bay Area in the early 90s, it was basically box scores and newspapers. That was about it. And when the Lightning came around in 92, I latched on since day one. Just happened to be at the Florida State Fairgrounds in the summer of 92. They were having a select-a-seat day. I think me, my younger brother, were there just to get autographs, and my mother was just driving us around. So we showed up to get autographs, and 2 hours later we had season tickets. So that was one great way to get involved in the sport. Out of college, I got a part-time job at what was then 1250 WDAE, just a weekend board op, fall of 1999. And at the time, Jason Dixon was the program director of the station, and he was my PD there for, I think, a couple of years after I started there.
I've been able to work with Matt on a couple of occasions, hiring him in my old life at WDAE.
He took the job with the Lightning. I worked at DAE for 7 years, and Jason took on more responsibilities with the team, especially off-air responsibilities, and he just didn't have the time to really devote to doing the game day hosting.
They increased my duties here at the Lightning and kind of asked me to step aside with an on-air presence. In this business, it's not often that you get to hire your replacement.
I went through the usual process of sending in a resume and demo, and was able to use my past experience and my fandom with the team.
You know, we had tapes from all around the country, and the guy we wanted was sitting right in our backyard.
He gave me the call, I'd say probably a month before the season started, offered me the job, and it was just too good to refuse. Typically, I'll show up for the morning skate at 10:30, hang around for coaches' comments at 11, talk to players. After that, basically I'll spend about an hour here, and then I'll go off with my laptop computer and just start gathering notes. And then I get some headlines elsewhere around the league, just whatever the big stories are, if there's any big injuries, trades. Try not to do too many rumors, but sometimes there's just big stories that you can't avoid.
Lightning Radio is live. Here's your host, Matt Sammon.
You're up. All right, Scotch tape and bubblegum. The Lightning Radio Network is on the air.
Do a broadcast open. I get the scoreboard, the schedule for that night. Probably spend about 3, 4, maybe even 5 hours of just preparing for a game, preparing for 9 or 10 minutes of prepared notes, and then everything else, obviously intermission highlights and scores and post-game reaction, that's all off the cuff, so you just have to be mentally prepared for what's going to be thrown at you that night. It is not just walk in and put on the headsets and go, hey everybody, here's a game tonight. I am a true believer in show prep. The worst mistakes are factual mistakes.
In terms of his prep work, he does put a lot of time in, and I think the fans benefit from the work that he puts in. Matt is not only a great talent on the air in terms of his broadcasting ability, he's got a great sense of humor, and that's on the air and off the air, and it's just a lot of fun to have him around. He's a good friend of mine and my family's, he and his wife as well.
He is not just a great radio play-by-play announcer, he is a great analyst of the game, a great fan of the game, and a great person too. And I'm blessed to be working with him and Phil Esposito. You still have to kind of shake yourself. I'm getting paid to do this? What? It's something I appreciate every day. To be where I am now, I'm very lucky, very blessed, and very happy.
Matt Matt does a fantastic job on the air. And like all of us who broadcast Tampa Bay Lightning hockey, he combines a love of the sport of hockey with a lot of preparation to make sure that Lightning fans get the best, most entertaining experience. Well, after that big 8-4 triumph over the Islanders, we all headed up to Boston for a game against the Bruins, who were battling for playoff position.